Dujon, Old Firm victory here. Can you sum up your emotions after that one today?
It's a big one, especially after this week and the first leg as well of Fenerbahce. Obviously, it's the first time since I've been there that we've come away to beat them here, so it's a great feeling. And obviously, we had the fans back as well to give us that extra boost, which we had to have.
Yeah, what did you make of the performance from the squad today? It was obviously a really strong start, especially in that first half.
Yeah, we watched them and we just thought, let's try something different from what we've been doing before. We were more aggressive and obviously they didn't like that. We went 2 goals up.
The Jamaica Football Federation cannot fail in their pursuit of Rangers right back, Dujon Sterling. JFF, if you guys bottle his recruitment, I would send you into the corner, facing the wall, because you'd be a failure. It's me again, Jah, as I fall on my knees today. Help me, God, I'll pray. Don't wanna be carried away. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. This is a top-class quote written by Benjamin Franklin, as it speaks directly to a footballer that Jamaica have looked at, a footballer that Jamaica have and strong interest in, even called him up before, in a Dujon Sterling. People, welcome to another episode on Premier 7 with your host, Ryan Nelson. I hope that today is a fantastic day for you as the pot is bubbling up as we approaches closer and closer to big time, big games where the Jamaica men's national team will be actively involved in competitions of great importance. Today on the channel, I will be speaking about Dujon Sterling from the topic, if Jamaica fails to recruit Dujon Sterling, they will regret it. Off the bat, this was generated from a poll that I did earlier on with the question that states, should Jamaica miss out on Dujon Sterling before World Cup 2026? It would be a failure, don't you think? 45 votes, 3 likes from the votes, 78% agreed, yes, big time, and the balance 11-11 saying not sure, undecided, no others available. I mean, from the get-go, from off the bat, I have been speaking about this player on several occasions. This guy is one of those players who was linked to Jamaica. Others spoke about him. He was up there alongside the names of a Mason Greenwood, even Reece Nelson, and the list goes on. He was more popular on the books to me than even a Mason Holgate. But I think his details is in the fridge and it is cold. So before I dive into the video, people, I just want to say massive respect and thanks to you all for your support. Premier 7 have 1,775 subscribers. I would love for you guys to continue to subscribe, because when you do so, the channel will grow more. And of course, for those who are supporters for a good time now, continue to support, because when you do so, you know that this channel will reach to different shores. Now, I just want to say right now that yes, I'm going to hold up my hands to say that I have spoken about players like Ian Frey before, but is Ian Frey a better player, an accessible player than a Dujon Sterling, one who we can say will be a player for Jamaica if JFF plays the card right? And in that case, I just want to get into the meat of the matter, reflecting on a newsfeed that was posted last year, March that is, in the One Football paper. Because people, from this, you will see that this guy should be a Jamaican footballer. So you're seeing here the details, as mentioned, the source before, in relation to the date, the 29th of March, 2024. Rangers Dujon Sterling rewarded with stunning Jamaica call-up. We can understand that this guy is a right back. Dujon Sterling has been handed a shock Jamaica call-up for the Copa America starting in June by way of his parents who hail from that part of the world. The English-born utility man, 24, played for England youth up till the under 20s, but hadn't received a call-up at the senior level, unsurprisingly given the standard of their players since 2019, his last youth cap. Now we can understand that Dujon Sterling is a big, big player. If Jamaica gets this guy, he will be an upgrade. And I'm going to touch upon that down more in the video. So just stick around. But the Jamaica call-up is one he is said to be very, very keen on answering. And this would eat deeply into Rangers preseason preparation, although, of course, with the Euros this summer, he might not be the only Rangers player away on international duty. I'm going to stop right there because the very, very part that I emphasized on, it dictates or states that this guy is expecting to be a part of Jamaica. If you agree, please drop a like. But what has happened though? I know that for coaches, whenever it comes down to preseason and those important games or built up, competitions, whatever you may want to use, they are strict against such. Because look at what happened to Alphonso Davies, right? Bayern Munich wants to take legal action against Canada. But it's just the seriousness of how these players' importance are for their clubs, and they don't wish for them to be injured. And that is just rocking back on what was talked about in regards to a Dujon Sterling. I believe that this guy should be in the many or close to many Jamaicans players who are of our descent who should represent Jamaica, because this man is representing Rangers, who is second right now in the Scottish Championship or Premier League, or correction, alongside or behind, we know who that team is already, Celtic. So they're playing well. They have been playing they played in the Europa League, and Dujon Sterling was featured. Which Jamaican player, apart from those in the Premier League, is playing those type of games? You can let me know in the comment section. So I just want to jump over to something that triggers my interest to talk about Dujon Sterling. Sterling's defensive ability. This guy is a monster. For his age, 25, he's a monster. And yes, I can understand that you may be asking, so why is he not looked at by bigger clubs? That is not for me to answer. That is for them to answer. And sometimes because of the bias in the system as well, or, for example, clubs maybe looking elsewhere, they do not look deep enough to see a talent like Dujon Sterling, because proper scouting would show that this guy is a brilliant talent and can become a higher ceiling player. So let me talk about his defensive ability. Sterling is strong and aggressive as a defender, excelling in one-on-one situations. Jamaica needs somebody who can do such in difficult situations. We struggle in that case. And knowing by way of the naked eyes his physical ability, it makes him difficult to beat in duels. Aerial duels, that is. So his tackling ability and positional awareness are far superior to Jamaica's current options. I can at least try to sound like one of my friends from a group, Mr. Travis, who would say, this the money no good. That the money no good. You no good. So I guess he would say then that apart from Dujon Sterling, those who we have available, Lembikisa is here and there, the only main options we have. Holdgate is not good as a right back compared to a Dujon Sterling. Brown, Javin Brown, no. And the others, I don't even remember their names like that, with no disrespect attached. This guy in a Dujon Sterling should be the man. Because, for example, this guy plays very well for Rangers and Stoke City, and shows that he can handle high pressure in situations. This guy even plays against Benfica. Otamendi, one of the best centre back in Argentina's history, he played up against. Remember, it's the Europa League and different competitions this guy would have been a part of. So, what's happening? What's happening with this guy? We need for him to be a part of Jamaica setup because Jamaica playing against opposition teams in the CONCACAF regions, we're normally skipped past in the midfield. And remember, this guy's a utility player. But we know that Latibodier is also a utility player. But we want for this man who we know is a born right back who can play different positions, of course. We need challenges to be imposed on a Lembikisa, competitions. And I think this man would be the ideal starter for Jamaica if he is settled. He would need some time to settle, for sure. Now, based on his attacking contribution and versatility, and of course, stick around because I want to do a comparison between him and a Lembikisa to prove that this guy is even the better option. So, Sterling is not just a defensive fullback. He is effective, in terms of going forward. And I have a video to show as well. This guy have the ability to overlap, deliver crosses, and combine with wingers, making him a valuable asset in attack. You can see for yourself when you check the games that he has played. And of course, he can play in multiple positions. That is at, of course, right back. Can play, I think he can play in the DM role as well. So, I mean, what a man. Let me just show you that this guy is versatile. Absolutely he is. He can play in different positions. Different positions. Look at that. Left back, right back, DM. So I was correct. And he has been playing games in the championship. Well, my apologies. I don't really want to call this type of league championship, but in the Premiership. 19 appearances, no goals, no assists, 5 yellow cards. He's an aggressive player, so that could be possible. But starting 11, 32%, and 37% in terms of minutes. And I think it will be more when I check up on the comparison between him and the Lembikisa. But remember, this guy plays in bigger games than a lot of Jamaican players. And do not come here with the injury talk. Because this guy, 2022 to 23, November the 6th, 2022 to January the 15th, 2023, 71 days absent, 9 games missing for Stoke. That is the only injury I'm seeing right now, the big injury that he went through. So he's not an injury-prone player, and that is a brilliant thing that we want to really understand, that we're not bringing in any injury-prone player. So comparing to our current Jamaican right backs, he offers complete package, both defensively and offensively. Lembikisa is better offensively, so to me he will be better in a formation that has 3 at the back. So it'll be like an attacking wing back, right, on the right hand side. But Dujon Sterling is that man who is more complete going forward all over the place. He is the man. All right, so this guy, as we know, he used to be an academic player at Chelsea, and along that way he moved up to playing in the English Championship and Scottish Premiership. Better tactical discipline he developed over time, and that would be necessary for Jamaica to have him in place, right? Um, I spoke about CONCACAF being a difficult place to play football. It is dominated by United States, Mexico, Canada, Panama as well, Costa Rica. Jamaica should be competing more, stronger alongside or against those teams. Give ourselves a chance to be the best, even one or two time in, let's say, a few years from now. You know, we need to win some major trophies, and this guy needs to be imparted into the squad because without having him settled and getting accustomed to the culture of how Steve McLaren, the coach that some persons like myself have doubts about, he needs the players to assist. And maybe he's not on the books of a Steve McLaren, but remember, Al Grimson stated that he wants for the team to be better. He wants when he hand it over to a Steve McLaren, it is in a better place. And this guy was on the listing before in Al Grimson's time. So why not now? We need for this guy to be taken into the camp. So the other point of importance is now upgrade over current right backs. Yes, man. I called the names before: Brown, Javian Brown, Lemby Kisa. Yes. So of course, while Lemby Kisa, he's the main man. He's a young, I think 21, 22-year old with potential. Sterling is stronger defensively and more experienced. Even offensively, he will be better. Javian Brown has been inconsistent, making Sterling, a clearer upgrade. And his presence would immediately solidify Jamaica's defense and provide stability. The backline, it would be more competitive in the CONCACAF region and giving us that boost needed, the energy, the confidence going into not the Unity Cup, but if we even could get in before the Unity Cup, it would be depth in the squad. But other competitions like the CONCACAF Gold Cup, World Cup qualifiers, then, the big one in 2026, anything comes before that, it's a big one that we have to focus on. But we have to climb the ladder, and breaking down walls, barriers to, of course, do well in other important aspects or competitions that Jamaica needs to prove themselves as being a top team. Now, here's a comparison that I want to show with him against a Lemby Kisa. I think it's for this season. So the hairs are different in terms of age. 25, Sterling, 21, Lemby Kisa. In terms of height, 186 centimeters for Sterling, 6 above Lemby Kisa. One play for Rangers, one place for Barnsley. But look at the ratings. Sterling 6.88, Lemby Kisa 6.50. So if we should even round off, then Sterling would be the man, being at 7, and 7 is not a bad rating for a defender. So matches, minutes per game, hope you're seeing what I'm showing here. 56 to a Sterling, 26 to a Lemby Kisa. Everything in green is for Sterling, everything in blue is for Lemby Kisa. Total minutes played, 1,559 compared to 155. 19 appearances compared to 6. Shots off target, 0.2 compared to 0. 0.1 for shots on target compared to 0. I don't want to even talk about the big chance misses because missing chances shows that you are trying. You got opportunities to score and you may miss. But what about those who don't get any chance to even play? So defensively speaking now, interception, 0.8 for a Dujon Sterling, 0.2 for Lemby Kisa. Tackles, 1.2, 0.7 for Lemby Kisa. Dribbled pass, 0.1, 0.3 for Lemby Kisa. So Dujon Sterling is the man. Clearance, 2.4, 1.7. I won't go any further. Yes, there are other areas that shows that Lemby Kisa may, but then again, Errol used 1, Sterling. Possessions lost. He lost possession less than a Lemby Kisa. Let's say by less than 3 if you do the subtraction. So this guy is a man. He's a man. Clear. Dujon Sterling is the man. JFF, I'm asking you please to get this man in. Please get this man in. And before I even talk about the last part, which is missing out on him could be costly, let me just show you that this guy is good enough for Jamaica. And this video is even before he was at Rangers.
Keely was spotted Dujon Sterling. Now that Jerry Yates is 2 on 2.
What more do you want to see? Isn't this guy the man for Jamaica defensively as a right back? Well, let's talk about the point here. Missing out on him could be costly. It will be costly. Other nations like England could still call him if Jamaica delays. Remember, he's 25 and maybe he even get a chance to move away from Rangers because he's very consistent, So clubs like players who are consistent, who can prove themselves and who can play in different situations under pressure, not injury prone. Maybe move away from Rangers within 1 to 2 years from now because he's going higher and higher. Jamaica, take advantage, please. The Reggae Boyz have missed out on talented players before due to poor recruitment strategies. And I did a video about that before, and I don't want to even talk about it again because it is a bit annoying for me and others to be speaking about the same issues that JFF is going or is doing or is experiencing or we are experiencing from JFF. But others would say they are improving and give them credit. Give them the credit that they deserve. But this guy should be a player that we recruit and we say, wow, yes, man. Any player can fail, but I just have to speak about what this guy currently offers. And he's going to be better than those who we have at the right back position. Yeah, if what he brings to the table, based on what you saw in the video, then no doubt this guy would be the best right back for Jamaica for 3, 5, even 7 years because he's quite young and he's not on the verge of declining. He's not even in his peak as yet. All right, so he's a solid right back. Sterling is very solid and he could make a difference for Jamaica then, if not for the Unity Cup, for the World Cup qualifying games. Come on, JFF, man. Get Dujon Sterling, man. I'm serious, man. Failing to recruit him, would mean that we would have to rely on less consistent option. People, I think this video is one that JFF should really and truly pay attention to, because we're all about hearing about the Mason Greenwood, the Tyrese Campbell, the this, the that. But what about a player like a Dujon Sterling who can complete or partly complete our backline? Remember, we have Pinnock, we have, don't want to say Richard King because, I don't want to split in terms of how people's going to talk about Richard King here and there. So, then again, he's a man then. Richard King or Damian Lowe, Heath and Pinnock. And then you have a Dujon Sterling. We just have to fix our left back. And I think Greg Lee isn't bad as well. So, look at that. So, people, Dujon Sterling is the best right back that Jamaica will have if he's recruited, right? And I'm urging the Jamaica Football Federation to make hay while the sun shines. Act now before it's too late, right? People, what do you think though? What do you think? Because for me, to reflect on the topic again, if Jamaica fails to recruit Dujon Sterling, they will regret it. I believe so. And I know that this guy would be an upgrade. All right, so it's time for me to go. And I want to hear what you guys have to say or interact with the video. Drop your comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Premier 7. Your subscription will do a lot for me. And of course, don't know, say, once I'm back, you will hear something different. But, just do what you have to do, and then you will hear from me along the way. So, of course, take care. Goodbye until we meet again.